Welcome here in Chisinau. This is the Ministry of Finance behind me. Over there you have, that's basically the financial center, the Ministry of Finance, the central bank and the National Tax Agency. So they are all together. I have already called for the euro for Moldova. I'm very happy with the tax agency with 12% taxation for income. And here is the Ministry of Finance. And I want to make a call for more financial assistance from the European Union for Moldova, because it's absolutely needed at this moment. We need to spend more and we need to be more generous. I'm not talking about small 10 millions here, 5 millions here, that's very much money for me. But for a country like Moldova, we need to be really significantly generous now to have support for the following: for the refugees for Ukraine, for the economic impact from the war in Ukraine, for the defense of Moldova, for the infrastructure. Because here the infrastructure, the big one, the railway connection, is such a big problem now because we have the export of the markets here from Ukraine to Moldova. It's big agricultural producers and they cannot export via the Black Sea. Now they need to export via the European Union. And we find out, oh surprise, that I was always right and that we need the highways from Ukraine towards Romania and towards the European markets. We need the fast railway connections and we need the transport for goods on the railways as well. And I always said so since 6 years now. It's 2016 I started my European Ukraine campaign, and I said that we need to connect Moldova and of course Ukraine much more effectively via decent railway links with the European Union, and that we need to pay for it. Of course these countries don't have the fiscal space to build suddenly so fast so big infrastructure. And that in the Soviet Union all the infrastructure links were to the Black Sea or towards Russia is also not a secret. Yeah? And that we as European Union have interest strategically in the economic space here is also not a secret. Yeah? And now please my question, what have we done from 2016 to 2022 in terms of highways and railways? Then we always complain when the countries run to the Chinese, when, like Serbia and Hungary, and when the European Union is not effective, doesn't have the impact, doesn't have the generosity or the vision to fund all these major infrastructure projects, but not in 2020, 200, 2,000 or whatever. No, now. A big, serious package, and that's why I call for the big financial framework, the 1.5 trillion, which is I published already a month ago. We need a new COVID-style recovery package, but not just for Ukraine, also for Moldova, also for Georgia, also for the Western Balkan, in fact also for Romania, Bulgaria, because we were not generous enough. And we need to connect on a strategic effort, from a European and American, NATO, EU joint perspective, how to build the infrastructure links until the Eastern Front, Russia, Ukraine. Yeah? And then to connect all the cities in a decent way towards East-West. And of course to sink the ships of Russia in the Black Sea. That is very good. I call every day for that. But also effectively for the long term, there must be effective energy and railway and also highway links east-west in Europe to transport military in the case it's needed towards the Eastern Front, and to transport the goods back, the agriculture and all the other goods, which they are, from steel to minerals, and also to have effective communication of people. Now we saw all these disasters in the COVID when we forced the people to return suddenly, and then they came back and then they were blocked at the borders for days, and then we had the Ukraine war and still have it, and the big refugee crisis, and people are again stuck at these borders. Because all this Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia must be in the EU customs union with the euro as the currency and with the fast-track political integration to 2029, and of course a major infrastructure and financial relief and economic independence package from Russia in the case of 1.5 trillion. That of course includes also the reconstruction of Ukraine, the war damages and the integration of Ukraine. That's the biggest item of course, but also Moldova, of course Moldova, 100%. We would be utterly nonsensical if we don't do it. And also to rearm Moldova, to integrate Moldova and to do that decently. I mean, I cannot understand, it's so logical. and then Macron creates another political union. I mean, what's wrong with that guy? It's a mystery for me. Anyhow, so far from now, here from this financial district with the central bank tax agency, very low tax, very good, 12%, must have also financial stability with the euro, and a big financial package from the Europeans for this important institution and the Ministry of Finance, because small countries in the periphery cannot have the taxpayers to integrate themselves into the European Union. And if we wait for them to have that, then it will take centuries. And that's, of course, completely ridiculous. So fast, generous, proactive, reasonable. And why we always need wars to be reasonable, it's a bit of a mystery for me, but that's for another video. For now, please be generous, Europe, and be fast. Thanks a lot. Bye.